And some of you said you're not able to hear me sometimes. If you're not able to hear me, just try to, before you report, try to leave and rejoin. If you're still experiencing the same thing, and you should tell me so I can do a second. Try to leave and join. Are you guys able to see the screen, Lukumo?
No, ma'am.
No.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool. So I want us to do this revision. And let's see. We have question 4, it's 12 marks, 12 free marks name. So the first one, they say multiplied by a squared. What are we going to have? And it's just 1 mark, meaning you don't have to do a whole lot of things, right? What's going to be our answer for this? Zira, what's going to be the answer for 4.1?
Mom, it's going to be a to the power of 5.
A to the power of 5. Do all of you agree with this? Remember, guys, this is revision, right? I think we did this a whole lot of time. Do we have anybody who's disagreeing with this? Okay,
No, ma'am.
Okay. And then x, in bracket, we have x cubed plus 1, all of that to the power of 0. What's going to be the answer? What are we going to have?
Ma'am, 1.
1. Why are we having a 1?
Ma'am, because when it's to the power of 0, ma'am, it's gonna
Because
equal
anything
to
to the
1.
power of 0 is equal to 1. Perfect. And we have x to the power of 3 divided by x to the 5. What are we going to have, Likumo? What's going to be our answer?
Ma'am, is going to be negative 2. X to the power of negative 2.
It's going to be a negative 2.
X to the power of negative 2.
Is that what you said?
Ma'am, x to the power of negative 2.
X to the power of negative 2. Do we all agree to that?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. And our 4.4 looks complex. We have 2x to the power of 3 y multiplied by 3x to the power of 2y, all divided by 12x to the power of 6, y to the power of 3. What are we going to have? What are we going to have?
Ma'am, will it be negative 2x to the power of negative 1, y to the power of negative 1?
Negative 2x. Mm-hmm.
To the power of negative 1.
Negative 1.
Y to the power of negative 1.
Y to the power of negative 1. And this is going to be the final answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I just want to know, how did you get to negative 2? And how did you get to these x to the power of -1? And how did you get to y to the power of -1?
Ma'am, what I did first is that I calculated 2x to the power of 3y times 3x squared to the power of and y. So then, ma'am, that gave me
Mhm.
6x to the power of 5 and y to the power of 2.
6x to the power of 5 and y to the power of 2.
Then, ma'am, I divided that by 12x to the power of 6 and y to the power of 3.
Y to the power of 3. Okay.
And then, ma'am, 6 divided by 12. Oh, 12. 6 divided by 12. Oh no, ma'am. 6 divided by 12 is half, not
Mhm.
2, not -2.
Mhm.
And then, ma'am, 5 minus 6 is -1. So that's where I got the x to the power of -1.
Perfect. Just make sure that after completing a question, you try to redo it, name, and avoid making this little mistake. You see that -2? With that -2, you're going to get your answer wrong, but because you're able to see, now you're going to get your 2 marks, right? And we're going to move to the next question. But before we do that, thank you, Nyaki. Thank you for this. Have anyone who didn't understand this, or who have another way of doing it?
Ma'am,
Mm.
I wanted to ask you, would my answer still be correct if I said 1 over 2xy?
1 over
2xy.
It'll be correct. It'll still be correct.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anyone? Lihumo, are you good there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's see if here. Wikanyo, are you good? Okay, let's look at 4.5. We have P divided by P. Busisi, what are we gonna end up having when we divided P with a P?
Ma'am, won't we still have P?
P. Why do you say P?
Ma'am, because usually when we divide, we minus the exponents, and ma'am, the exponent is the invisible one. So I think no, ma'am, it's not 1 because it's P divided by P, which is gonna be P 1 minus 1 because the exponent is 1, but it's not written there. And then ma'am, it's gonna be P to the power of 0, which is gonna be 1.
Perfect. Okay, cool. Let's look at 4.6. 4.6 says square root of 25 y to the power of 16. What are we going to end up having, Lihumo? What do you think we're going to end up having here? For square root of 25 y to the power of 16.
Ma'am, the answer is 5y to the power of 8.
It's what? 5y to the power
5y to the power of 8.
5y to the power of 8. Do all of you agree? Nike, do you agree? Or do you have anything different from that?
Ma'am, I agree.
Okay, cool. Now let's look at 4.7. 4.7, we're having in brackets 3d to the power of 5, e to the power of 2, f to the power of 3, all to the power of 3, multiplied by 9d to the power of 8, e, f to the power of 4, and g. I'm not sure if Wikano is able to unmute their mic. And what are we gonna end up having, Wikano?
Ma'am, I have a problem with my mic, so I can't use it on the computer.
Excuse me, what did you say?
I was saying that I have a problem with my mic.
Okay, no problem. Zira, what do you think we're gonna end up having? In fact, what are we gonna end up having for our 4.7?
Ma'am, can I just tell you the calculations if that's okay, and then I'll tell you the answer at the end.
Yes, yes. You
So-
see, this one is 3 marks, so we need to show all the calculations. So for this one, it's just okay to not show anything. Yes.
Okay. So,
Mm-hmm.
ma'am, I rewrote the question, and what I got was 27 d to the power of 15, e to the power of 6, f to the power of 9.
Mm-hmm.
Times by 9 d to the power of 8, e, f to the power of 4, and g.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I got was 243 d 15 plus 8 is equal to 23, so to the power of 23, e to the power of 7, f f to the power of 13, and then g. That's what I got.
Okay, cool. And this is your final answer. Do we have somebody who did it in a different way, or who has an idea of how to do it in a different way, maybe, and you want to share it with us? Oh, you're gonna do it the same way as Dira. Guys, are you still there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think you are agreeing to Zira's way of doing it and the final answer. So I agree with her as well. We will move to our 4.8. So our 4.8 is 3x to the power of 2, 10y to the power of 3, divided by 12xy to the power of 4. And Liukumo, how are we going to do this?
Ma'am,
Mm.
ma'am, you see there by the numerator, ma'am, you multiply the 3x squared plus the 10y cubed.
Mm.
Then it gives you 30x squared y cubed over the 12x y to the power 4. Then
Then
then it's gonna give you 5x because the x that is at the denominator divides the x by the numerator. Then it gives you 5 over 2. I mean 5x and y to the power of negative 1 over 2. Then once you convert it, it's gonna give you 5x over 2y.
okay, 5x over 2y. It's your final answer. Okay, let's hear Busisiwe. Thank you. Busisiwe, how were you going to do this one? 4.8. Are you still there?
Sorry, ma'am. Yes, I'm still here.
Okay.
Ma'am, I was gonna divide the numerator and denominator by 3.
You were gonna divide the denominator and the numerators by 3. Mm-hmm.
And then, ma'am, I was gonna get 10x y to the power of 2 over 4. Oh, ma'am, I was gonna get 2.5 xy to the power of 2.
You were gonna get say your final answer.
Ma'am, there are 2 answers, ma'am, that I can use.
There are 2.
Yes, ma'am.
You
I
see
was
that?
gonna get
Okay.
10xy to the power of 2 over 4.
10xy to the power 2 over that.
Or 2.5 xy to the power of 2.
Okay, and your final answer, you have 2 final answers. Okay, cool. And Nyagi, how were you gonna do it?
Ma'am, so
Okay.
I did it just as it was. So I just divided 3x squared by 12, which gave me 1 over 2x, and then ma'am, I multiplied, and then I divided the 10 and the 12, and that gave me 5 over 6y to the power of negative 1. But then ma'am, I recognized that I can't do it like that because the 12, they're not separated like the numerator.
Okay. And your final answer?
Ma'am, my final answer was 1 over 2x times 5 over 6y to the power of negative 1.
Okay, cool. No problem. And Zira, how did you do it?
Sorry, ma'am. I did exactly how Lukumo did it, but if you want me to repeat, I'll repeat. So I got 30 y to the power of 3, x to the power of 2, over 12 x y to the power of 4. I moved the y at the bottom and I moved the x to the top. So I got x to the power of 2 minus 1. I got 5x. And then over 12 to the power of y to the power of minus 4 minus 3. I got 2y. So my final answer is 5x over 2y.
Perfect. Perfect. So the final answer, all of you got the same answer. Though some of you have like a negative exponent, which is okay, but it is advisable to check the instructions. Sometimes they will say you must leave your answer in positive exponent. So that means for this one, if they restricted you to not have negative exponents, so that means you're going to move the ones with negatives um, from the numerators to denominator, right? So if it's 1 to the power of negative 1, then it's going to be whatever divided by y, right? To remove that thingy. And this one, I know that you master, so I'm not sure if you want to do it again, or should we just jump to question 10? Answering this type of question, but I'm gonna ask once again, do we have somebody who wants us to do it again, or should we jump it? Zira, are we jumping it or we doing it? We're redoing it.
Ma'am, we can jump ahead.
Okay, cool. Thank you for allowing me to. Okay, cool. They say calculate the value of the variables marked with small letters A to D. Write your answers in the columns provided. Show all the calculations. Calculate the values of the variable marked with the small letters A to D. Write your answers in the columns provided. Show all calculations. Okay, cool. We are having the first diagram, 10.1, and we have 20 degree, and then we have a right angle, and we also have A, and it consists of 3 marks. So you have to state it's you have to make a statement and a reason, right? So what is going to be the value of A? How do we get the value of A, and what's the reasoning behind the calculation? Your calculation.
Ma'am, would we say the statement, would it be 20 degrees plus 90 degrees plus A equals 180 degrees? And then the reason would be angles on a straight line.
Angles on a straight line. Perfect. 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 I just want to enlarge this. Okay. Hey, but what's happening? Are you guys able to see?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. So you're saying 20 degrees plus 90 plus A is equal to 180 degrees, and to say angles on straight line. And how much is the value of A?
Ma'am, A is 70 degrees.
A 70 degrees. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And let's look at 10.2. Or do we have somebody who's having a different view on 10.1? Lukumo, are you? Okay, I'll just assume that we are all on the same page. 10.2 says you have a B and a B and 130. The exterior angle is 130 degrees. And what's gonna be the statement and the reason for this, Zira?
Ma'am, it would equal to B plus B equals to 130 degrees. Opposite angles equal sides exterior angles.
B plus B equals to 130. And the reason?
Opposite angles equal sides exterior angles.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now B plus B is equals to 130, and we don't want the value of B and B. We want the value of B. Now, how do we get to B?
So, ma'am, it would give you 2B is equal to 130 degrees. You're going to divide that by 2. 2B divided by 2, 130 degrees divided by 2, which then will give you 65 degrees, ma'am.
So our B is equals to 65 degrees. Busisi, where do you agree? Okay, no problem. And let's look at diagram 10.3. We have two line AB and the CD. So the one that bisect those two. Now we have D and 6C minus 40 degrees. We also have 2C minus 20 degrees. So what's going to be our statement and what's going to be the recently humo? So Lihumo, are you still there? Okay, let's go to Busisi. Busisi,
Yes,
where?
ma'am.
Okay, you can answer.
Ma'am, I don't know how to solve this one.
You don't know how to. Okay, cool, no problem. Busisi, where? Busisi, where? Are you still there?
Ma'am, can I try the question?
Yes, please.
So ma'am, I said 6C minus 40 degrees plus 2C minus 20 degrees equals to 180 degrees, co-interior angles. AB is parallel to CD.
Perfect, perfect. And let me note that down before you continue. Okay, so you said 60 minus 40 degrees plus 2c minus 20 degrees is equals to 180. And the reason for interior angles. Okay. And what do we do?
Then, ma'am, I got 6c plus 2c equals to 180 degrees plus 40 degrees plus 20 degrees, which then gives me 8c is equal to 240 degrees. And then I divided all of that by 8. So c divided by 8 equals to c. 240 degrees divided by 8 gives you 30 degrees.
30 degrees. And our c is equal to 30 degrees.
Then, ma'am, then what I did was, it says 6c minus 40 degrees. So I get 180 degrees minus by 40 degrees, which then gives me 140 degrees. Then I say D is equal to my angle, which was 6c minus by 40, which I say 140 degrees. Opposite angles equal. Well, vertically opposite angles equal.
You say your D is equals to 140.
Yes, vertically opposite angles equal.
But how did you get to 140?
Ma'am, over there it tells us that 6c minus by 40 degrees is equal, is your angle, is that angle. And then that's how I use that. And then I got 140 degrees. And then you can see that your D is vertically opposite that angle. So that's why I said vertically opposite angles equal.
Okay, so 6 into 30. 6 into 30 minus 40 is equals to 140, right? That's what you got.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm just trying to check something. Just hold on. Okay, I think you probably made a mistake with the question, but your approach is correct. Because if you look at this line, it goes this direction, right? So that means this angle is going to be smaller than this one, because this one is wider, right? The reason why I'm saying this is when you have to add these two angles, you're gonna have to get 180 degrees. So already you're saying you're having 140, and this angle cannot be a 40. Cannot be a 40 degrees, right? Do you get me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So it's okay. It doesn't matter. It's their mistake. And Lihumo, did you get it? So let me just wipe this. And Lihumo, did you get it?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. So she started firstly with calculating the value of C because it will be then easy to get the value of D, right? Once you have the value of D, or once you are able to calculate or to get the value of this angle, you can now say this angle is equals to this one, right? And and to get the value of C, you're gonna have to work with these two angles beside you. So they're co-interior angles, and co-interior angles equate to sum of 180 degrees, right? And then we simplified the whole thing. 6C minus 40 degrees plus 2C minus 20 is equal to 180. And now we're gonna put or sort the letters one side and the numbers one side, which was 6C plus 2C is equal to 180 plus 20 plus 40, all right? 40 degrees. And 8C is equal to 240. 8C is equals to 240. And we divide everything by 8, or both sides with 8 to get the value of C, because we don't want the value of HC, but we want the value of just 1C, and our C is equals to 30. Now that we got the value of C, we're going to substitute the C with the 30 to get the value of this angle right here. And we having 6 into 30 minus 40 is equal to 140. So that means the value of D is equals to 140 degrees because it's an alternate angle, right? And if they've asked for this, let's see. If they've asked for this angle, what were we going to have? How were we going to calculate for it? What was going to be the statement and what was going to be the reason?
Ma'am, we're gonna say the letter of the angle is equal to angle 6C minus 40 degrees. Then, ma'am, the reason would be alternate angles are equal. So that angle would be 140 degrees as well.
Okay, let's say our angle was E. We say how much were we going to have? 140.
Yes, ma'am.
And the reason?
Ma'am, alternate angles are equal.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. And do we have another way of doing it?
Ma'am, we can say angles on a straight line.
Angles on a straight line. 2C minus 20 plus E is equals to 180. And we're going to say angles on a straight line. So we did that one of zero, which is Z. No, not zero, but Nyagi. And then zero said angles on a straight line. And what could be, what's another way of doing it?
Ma'am, we can say that angle E, and if we were given thingy the angle by ma'am, the angle below D, ma'am, then those would be co-interior angles, and then we'd have to try and get that. Oh,
Okay, okay.
sorry, ma'am. Or vertically opposite angles.
Ma'am, I've got one more way in which we can do this.
Okay, how are we gonna do it?
So, ma'am, do you see that C, 2C minus 20 degrees is equal to 40, right? We can see that one's vertically opposite to C. Do you see CD, the line CD, and the intersection over there? And you can see that this line is creating an F. I forgot what it's called, but you can see that it's making an F, right? And so if that, I calculated it, it was 40 degrees. I forgot what was it called, but like you can see that it's an F, right?
Yes.
And one of the property is that that they would equal, those angles would equal because they're parallel lines.
F is corresponding angles. This angle is equal to this one, and they are called corresponding angles. Ne? And then the U, you got it. It's co-interior angles, these ones. And our Z is alternate angles. And let's see. So basically, if you have something like this, you are able to get the values. You see, there's many ways of calculating for certain angles. You see, okay, let me try to wipe this whole thing. Let me try to wipe this whole thing. Let me try to wipe this whole thing. So if we were looking for this angle right here, we can use, let me change the color. We can use this one to get the value of that red angle. And again, we can use we can use this one, and let's see blue, and we can also use this one. So basically, you see, we can use everything. And again, we can use let me try to change the color, maybe this one. So we can also use this one because this is a Z there. So this is going to be equals to that. Let me cancel Z. Okay. And again, we can do what? Again, we can use which one? Co-interior angles. This one. And again, we can use what? We can use the F. This F, I'm talking about this F. Those are corresponding angles, and yeah, those are the ones that we can use, given that we are looking for just this one, right? And we are not having this value, right? And let's see. Yeah, there's no other question I have for you, but do we have any question on this or any addition? We have addition. Somebody want to add something? Okay, cool. Let's look at question 11, 2 marks. Let's look at question 11. So 11 says, which two triangles are congruent? We have triangle ABC and triangle DEF and triangle HIJ. And before we get to answer this question, what's the difference between congruency and similarity of triangles?
Ma'am, congruent shape triangles are triangles that are exactly the same, and then similarity, they have the same ratio. They're the same scale, but the angles are the same, but the perimeter isn't the same.
Okay. Luhumo, thank you, Zira. Thank you. Luhumo, what's the difference between congruency and similarity of triangles?
Ma'am, congruency is the same shape but different size. No, same shape.
Lukumo, are you still there?
Also, remember, I muted myself by mistake. It means it has the same shape and same size. Then similarity is the same shape, different size.
Okay, thank you, Nyaki.
Ma'am, I was gonna explain it how Luhum explained it.
Okay. Busisi, where?
Ma'am, ma'am, similar triangles, ma'am, they have the same shape, and the three angles are equal, but ma'am, the sides, they may not be equal. But ma'am,
Uh,
congruent triangles, they have both equal sides and angles equal.
Perfect. Biganyo, do you have something to say? Are you still in here?
And I have nothing to say, but yeah, I do understand. And congruency are the same shape with same sizes, and similarity is the same shape with a slight different size or different direction. I'm not sure, but like
Okay.
different sizes.
Okay, cool. You all have an idea. In fact, you know the difference, not have an idea. Okay, we are having three triangles here. When you're looking at, by looking at these triangles, which ones are congruent? Is it A, B, C, and D, E, F, or D, E, F with H, I, J, or H, I, J with A, B, C?
Ma'am,
Yes.
is a triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF?
Um, A, B, C, A, B, C, and D, E, F. And what's the reason?
Ma'am, it shows that um angle B is equal to angle E, and then you can see that angle of the side side arm AB is congruent to arm EF, and then arm BC is congruent to DE, and then um the other side AC is congruent to DF.
It's going to be side angle side, because it's this side with this, and followed by the angle, this one, and then another side. So it's side angle side. Perfect. Do we have any question? Do we have any question?
No, ma'am.
Okay, cool.
Nah.
Okay. Sisi, do you have any question?